Time. At 2:25 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a severe thunderstorm was located 11 miles west of Montague, or 18 miles northwest of Muskegon. The National Weather Service in Grand Rapids has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for southwestern Newego County in west central Michigan, Muskegon County in west central Michigan, southern Oceana County in west central Michigan, until 3:15 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 2:25 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a severe thunderstorm was located 11 miles west of Montague, or 18 miles northwest of Muskegon, moving east at 60 miles per hour. Hazard, 60 miles per hour wind gusts. Source, radar indicated. Impact, expects damage to roofs, siding, and trees. Locations impacted include Muskegon, Newego, Muskegon Heights, Fremont, Roosevelt Park, North Muskegon.
We can see the shelf cloud here.
Fruitport,
Okay, this is our gust
Norton
front.
Shores,
And oh
Dalton,
my,
Holton,
this is one of the most
Sullivan,
well-defined shelf
Richmond,
clouds I have ever
Roosbury,
seen.
Casnovia. For your protection,
Oh
move to
my
an interior
goodness.
room on the lowest floor of a building.
Very well-defined shelf cloud. Again, these are destructive storms, life-threatening storms for Kent County. Would not be surprised to see destructive tags of your thunderstorm warning come across the pipeline here. We have a destructive tags of your thunderstorm warning coming in. So this is a life-threatening situation. 97 miles per hour. Okay? Oceana Shores, Grand Beach, New Buffalo. You guys need to get in the basement. Good evening, West Michigan. This is Jonah with West Michigan Weather. As we start our stream here this evening, I would just ask that you give me just a couple of minutes, and in the meantime, if you could hit that like button and share with your friends and family, we would appreciate it. It's free, and it's the best way you can help support us. And we'll get going in just a few minutes here. 145 miles per hour wind. You can barely see the lights on the tower. Certainly whiteout conditions here. More power flashes. Power flashes. Big power flash. Heading forward.
The National Weather Service in Grand Rapids has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for southwestern New County in west central Michigan, Muskegon County in west central Michigan, southern Oceana County in west central Michigan until 3:15 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 2:25 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a severe thunderstorm was located 11 miles west of Montague, or 18 miles northwest of Muskegon, moving east at 60 miles per hour. Hazard
Hold on. Testing. I checked my audio on my phone. I should be back here. Sorry, guys. Thank you. Let's see. I will restart. No worries. Not in any hurry. Sorry about that. Okay, Caden, we will answer that question towards the end of this stream, and I appreciate you letting me know. Morgan, thank you. Testing. And of course, I did not turn that off. Okay, sorry everybody. I think we're all set now. If we can just confirm in the chat as well. See, that's what happens when I have my stream settings get all messed up. OBS is great when it works. Okay, I'm hearing that audio is okay now. If we can again confirm that. Perfect. Thanks everybody. Give me 1 second here. Let me change one thing. Okay. Alright, sorry again, guys. So just to sort of preface through everything here, accumulating snow is incoming. We'll kind of speed run through this. Everything contained within this video is updated as of 6:48 p.m. Eastern Time. What we know, snow heavy at times will begin to impact West Michigan, all of West Michigan, beginning late Wednesday afternoon, really anytime after 3 p.m., and it will continue through Thursday morning. Impacts to commutes on Wednesday evening and Thursday are still expected, even though the snowfall totals are somewhat decreasing. Behind this, the bulk of the system snow, on Wednesday and Wednesday night, we will see lake effect snow, especially in our northwest flow bands ramp up Thursday morning. Gusty winds and blowing snow will result in poor travel conditions through the remainder of the day on Thursday, even though the bulk of the snowfall should be out of the area by then. So, and I will continue to push this up because still having issues with this stream setup here. Alright, perfect. So what we don't know, again, some model trends are now suggesting lower totals than what we were forecasting yesterday, and the question really is, will this persist? We're still about 48 hours out from event start, and so the question is this going to continue to be a trend or not? So far, it is continuing to be the trend, but there is still obviously time for this to change. And hence, because we do have that model disparity now, or those differences in the computer weather models, confidence in where the highest snowfall totals will fall is lower than what it was yesterday. Up until about midnight last night, everything was very consistent. In fact, it was probably the most consistent weather system that I had seen really for the last part of 2024 and definitely the first part of 2025. So, of course, it's not a Michigan forecast without last-minute changes to our ongoing forecast and making everyone look like they have no idea what they're talking about. But we will make the best of it. We'll roll with it. And again, if you guys have questions at any point during the video here, please let me know, and I will do my best to answer them. And we are tracking another system for this weekend, but we are going to really shy away from talking about that in this particular video. I want the focus to be on what is happening midweek, what is happening late tomorrow and into Thursday, because regardless of the snowfall totals being lower, we are still expecting impacts, possibly areas of somewhat significant impacts, depending on where the highest snowfall totals are, to occur for the Wednesday evening and Thursday morning commutes. So we're talking snow days, we're talking evening activities on Wednesday being canceled. All those types of things are still a definite possibility, so I don't want to detach ourselves from the focus on this event here and start talking about a system that could happen this weekend. So, but I did just want to note that in case you guys have seen other things on social media, this is still a system we are tracking. Alright, so this is about to where we got when I realized the audio was muted. So what happened to the Winter Storm Watch? Why was it downgraded? And I want to sort of clarify a couple of things here. First and foremost, the Winter Storm Watch was not really downgraded. The Winter Storm Watch that was in effect for the better part of the last day or so, and it was even expanded to include St. Joseph, Hillsdale, Branch, Calhoun, and Jackson counties earlier today, is no longer active, but it was not downgraded, and I want to be very clear about that. Watches, weather watches, it doesn't matter what kind of watch it is, whether it's a winter storm watch, a tornado watch, a flood watch, whatever the case is, it can really do one of three things. It can be canceled, so if there's a watch in effect and then the forecast changes so dramatically that we're no longer forecasting any type of hazardous weather, we can, or the National Weather Service rather, can just write out cancel the watch and just note that there's no longer any hazardous weather expected. Or it can be expired as normal, and that would just be expiring as normal whether or not there was actually hazardous weather that occurred. It has an expiration time on it, so it can expire. The other thing that it can do, and this is the most common thing, is it can be upgraded to either one of two things. It can be upgraded to a winter weather advisory in this case, or it can be upgraded to one of our warnings. In this case, a blizzard warning, ice storm warning, or a winter storm warning. And the thing that I want to make very clear here is that this particular watch was upgraded. It was in fact upgraded to a winter weather advisory, not downgraded to a winter weather advisory. An advisory is a higher level of impacts, a higher level of threat than a watch is. A watch means that it is possible. An advisory or a warning means that it is expected or is imminent. So this was in fact upgraded to an advisory, a winter weather advisory in this case, and we've got details on that on the next slide here. The word possible or likely in these watches is super important. It does not mean 100% that what we're forecasting right now is going to occur. It's just more of a heads up. So treat any watch as a heads up, take it seriously, start monitoring the weather, but just because you don't see a subsequent warning and you see an advisory or a statement instead does not mean that the weather is going to be any less impactful, if you will. So just wanted to clear up that little bit of confusion. So as I said, this was upgraded to a winter weather advisory. So we do have that area-wide winter weather advisory in effect all the way from Ludington over to Clare, down to Hillsdale, and all the way back over to Berrien County here in far southwestern lower Michigan. So totals and precipitation type and all those good things vary a little bit in here. For our National Weather Service northern Indiana counties, for Berrien, Cass, St. Joseph, Branch, and Hillsdale counties, there is a 0.10 inch of ice risk included in there. Really, that's going to be confined to the far southeastern corner of Hillsdale County, and I do not think that it's going to be getting up to that 0.10 or 1/10 of an inch criteria, but we'll take a look at that in a second. And in fact, let me just pull this up here for you guys. There we go. So this is our National Weather Service Northern Indiana winter weather advisory. So again, this is for Berrien, Cass, St. Joseph, Branch, and Hillsdale counties. Zoom in a little bit here. So this includes Benton Harbors, Three Rivers, Sturgis, Coldwater, Hillsdale, and we are expecting snow mixed with freezing rain and sleet at times. Again, that's really going to be confined here to the far southeastern portions of Branch and especially Hillsdale counties. And then snow accumulations between 2 and 5 inches, with the heaviest accumulations across southern Michigan and northwest Indiana. So that's going to be south of I-94 here. I-94 runs up here, so everywhere south of that is going to see those higher totals for this particular advisory. And this is in effect from 1 p.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday through 7 a.m. Eastern Time on Thursday. For our Grand Rapids National Weather Service counties, and that's everywhere else, we are looking at snow expected with total snow accumulations between 4 and 6 inches, again from 1 p.m. Wednesday afternoon through 7 a.m. Thursday morning. And again, both of these advisories, hazardous conditions could impact the Wednesday evening and Thursday morning commutes. And that is what I really wanted to drive home. Just because there's not a warning here does not mean that there's not going to be impacts. So, taking a look at our newest forecasted total snowfall, we do see a pretty large reduction as compared to our graphic from yesterday. Generally expecting 4 to 6 inches in this darker blue area here, and then 2 to 4 inches in these lighter blue areas that flank that dark blue area. You'll notice this yellow outlined area. We are still watching this area for possibly higher totals, and again, that kind of just depends right now at what model you look at, and I'll show some of those models here in a few moments, but it really just depends on what model you look at and choose to believe at this point. I'm really comfortable saying 4 to 6 inches here, but we are still watching this area from about Grand Haven over to Ithaca, and then down to Jackson and back over to Berrien County for areas of higher totals. So, and when I say higher totals, I really don't expect them to top 8 inches, but they could start to get over that 6-inch mark. In terms of ice, we are again expecting some freezing rain and sleet to mix in here. Accumulations are not going to be significant, with less than a light glaze expected in this white shaded area here. And then again, those ice totals could start to get up towards that 1/10 of an inch mark. I think they will stay below that, but they could start to push that 1/10 of an inch mark across the far southeastern portions of Branch County here, and then the southeast portions of Hillsdale County, and perhaps the extreme southeastern portion of Jackson County there as well. We will just have to wait and see, but again, I do not anticipate this being anything significant, and if the storm system continues to push southeast, we would likely see very little of any freezing rain and sleet mixing in here across even our far southern counties. So we've looked at our forecast now. Let's take a look at our National Weather Service forecasts. So these are official. One thing to keep in mind though is these are experimental still. So this is not a meteorologist sitting down at a computer. This is a consensus of every single model, and then a computer is putting this together. So just bear that in mind. These are still experimental, but they have done fairly well this year. So I do think it's worth talking about them. Pretty widespread 4 to 6 inches there, with some areas, topping that 6-inch mark. Again, I don't anticipate that they're going to be, getting up towards that 8-inch mark, but we could see some 6 or 7-inch totals spread throughout this area, especially again in this yellow highlighted area here from about Grand Haven over to Ithaca and Point South. So, and then again, ice accumulation really centered. Even this forecast does not have anything in Hillsdale County, and it's centered on the southeastern part of the state, but we will have to wait and see. I did include ice in our forecast just because that is included in the winter weather advisory for those areas. So we will just have to wait and see with that. Very low confidence on the ice accumulation. So this is our chance of 4 inches of snow or more. And we can see this has dropped considerably. We're now back towards that 50-50 range west of US 131. If you get east of US 131 and especially north of I-94, that starts to increase again back towards about that 75-80% mark. But this is a lot less than what we were looking at over the last couple of days. But this is still going to be 4 inches of snow is still an impactful event. It's just not as significant as we thought it could be. Very similarly, this is the chance for 6 inches of snow or more. Grand Rapids down to 29% there, Kalamazoo at 35%, Big Rapids at 28%. Ludington is starting to get down towards that 20% mark even, and then south of Jackson there is down towards that 20% mark as well. And then this is our forecast for 8 inches of snow or more. For reference, when we started really looking at this event, this was showing about 28-25% chances across pretty much the entire area there for 8 inches of snow or more, and now we're down to single-digit chances really west of US 127 there, with closer to the 15-20% mark there between Alma and Lansing. So why the big drop in totals? Well, it's really because the models can't really agree on anything. So both of these are showing snowfall totals through 1 p.m. on Thursday. And the model on your left there is the HRRR model, or the HRRR model. And that is, I don't want to say it's the gold standard, but it is really the most common computer weather model that we use to forecast weather. It's one of the better high-resolution short-range models. Then that is really just showing a widespread swath of 2 to 4 to maybe 6 inches across parts of the area. And then if we look on the right here, our other big short-range model, the NAM 3-kilometer, which is the North American model, is showing a very widespread 2 to 6 inches, and then a huge swath southeast of a line from Holland to Grand Rapids to Mount Pleasant, exceeding 6 inches, even pushing the 10-inch mark there at Kalamazoo and Lansing. So it really just depends on what model you look at. I would not put a lot of stock in this at this point, but we will obviously have to keep that solution in mind. But this, again, is just precluding higher confidence. Our confidence was pretty good as of yesterday, and now it is back to about square one. So it really just depends on what happens overnight tonight. We're going to get additional forecast updates. We're going to get additional model updates, and we'll just have to wait and see. And then again, lake effect snow is going to ramp up on Thursday with gusty winds. Once the low pressure system really drives the bulk of that snowfall, that system snowfall out of the region, we're going to see those northwest lake effect snow bands ramp up. This is going to produce additional snow accumulations. How much it produces really depends on the intensity of that lake effect, and because of the model uncertainty, we'll hold off on discussing that until tomorrow evening really even, but it will produce some areas of additional snow accumulations. The big thing is going to be the gusty winds. That's 6 a.m. Thursday morning right there, and then it's looping through the day on Thursday. The pinks are really getting up towards that 35 mile per hour mark, and the purples are about 25 miles per hour. So you can really see pretty widespread 25 plus mile per hour wind gusts, some locations getting up towards that 35 mile per hour mark during the day on Thursday. That's going to create areas of blowing snow and reduced visibility. That's going to continue to make travel somewhat hazardous for areas that are seeing those blowing snow conditions really in open areas for much of the day on Thursday. So any hope of schools doing 2-hour delays is going to kind of be thwarted by these winds if this continues to be the trend or be the solution that comes to fruition. Looking at visibilities, those oranges and those reds are starting to get down towards that 2-mile visibility mark. Everything that is a darker red or getting to that purple color is less than a mile. And we'll let this loop one more time for you guys. This is Thursday night at midnight, Friday morning, and then that's 6 a.m. So yeah, and especially along the lakeshore and in open areas, we're going to see those visibilities pretty reduced for much of the day. It's not going to be like whiteout blizzard conditions or anything, but it's going to make for some treacherous travel. So Thursday, school closing potential, and honestly this applies to Wednesday evening activities as well. Right now I'm giving a 31 to 50% chance for snow days and cancellations of evening activities on Wednesday, and they'll probably be fairly scattered to perhaps widespread, especially across the areas that see those higher snowfall totals. But right now the confidence, or the lack of confidence rather, is really precluding the introduction of any purple, pink, or red risk areas, at least right now. Of course, we'll do a day one update tomorrow, but that is sort of my initial thinking, and there's the graphic to go along with it. Everywhere in that dark blue category right here is a 31 to 50% chance of school closures on Thursday morning, and then we do have these light blue areas that sort of flank that with a 15 to 30% chance, and then across those areas of far southeastern Hillsdale and southeastern Jackson counties that we were looking at, that increased ice potential, or the increased potential for some sleet to mix in. The thing that's going to do is really nullify, well, not nullify, but it's going to reduce the amount of snow that can fall even more. So yes, the ice threat increases in this area, hence the 1-bar ice threat, but it's going to really reduce that snow threat down to a 1 or a 2 at best, if that is indeed the scenario that comes to fruition there. So confidence is even lower right there. So we do have chances at less than 15% for right now. Again, I do anticipate that we will upgrade this with our forecast package tomorrow evening, but I don't anticipate numerous school closings where schools across the entire area are closed or anything like that, but scattered to widespread school closings are definitely a possibility for Thursday. So that's going to wrap up this forecast update. Of course, whatever questions you guys have, feel free to throw those in chat. I'm happy to go backwards and talk about any questions that I may not have answered. Again, please share this live stream, even though that it's coming to an end. People can go back and watch the replay of it. Whatever questions you have, please throw those in the chat, and I'll be happy to answer those. Give people just a few minutes here. Alright. Well, I'm not seeing any questions. Let me just make sure I'm scrolled all the way down. Okay, perfect. Yeah, not seeing any questions coming in as of yet. So, with that, I think that unless there are any questions in the next few seconds here before I'm done talking, before I'm done wrapping up here, I would really appreciate it if you guys go ahead and share and follow on whatever social media platform you are watching, or on YouTube. The best way you can support us is to share, help us get the algorithm working, help us get the word out to folks. And that is the best way that you can support our mission here at West Michigan Weather. So again, winter weather advisories do go in effect beginning at 1 p.m. tomorrow across the entire area. Still not seeing any questions, so I will make sure to keep an eye on the comments of this live stream on our various social media platforms, and will reply to everything that I can if there are any questions that come about. So stay safe, stay tuned for additional updates tomorrow before things really get underway at about 1 p.m. in the afternoon. Plan on a slow-going